recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
All right, brother. Good morning.
Airborne.
Good morning, Patriots. Good morning, Woodman. Good morning, world.
Good, yeah, good. It's actually the world. You're quite correct on that one. Yeah. Well, you know, I've been chatting with a few people like across the pond, and I'm really amazed at how involved they are watching us. It's just fantastic to see these patriots from all over the world, Mike. It's just unbelievable, you know.
Well, it is a worldwide event. So, morning grillin'. See tons of people here in the room. I got our mods, a couple of the mods, which is grillin', and then just a lot of the patriots. I see EO2 Dave. That's a familiar. Spy in the Sky, 777. Thumper Rose, Ramping Bowl. Rampaging. There you go, Rampaging. Amy Dye, good morning. DM, Lynn Jackson, Melvin Campbell, Nathan Nayer, Dougie Hodge. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Erica Huebner. DM says airborne all the way to Woodman.
Airborne.
Yes, airborne. Yes. So I've been down and out for a few days. Woodman's been, doing a lot of research on his own, which I don't like him to do. He starts going crazy with all the information coming in. And what were you seeing? What's going on here?
Well, the Biden meltdown, that's really kind of funny. What's really disturbing is watching these sessions, you know, where the Republicans have to like really call people out in such a manner that, you know, everybody has to listen to it. Well, here's the thing, they still fight it, you know, and this thing about Trump and how much money he's spending and what he's doing over in Syria and, you know,
who he's on the phone with and who he shouldn't be talking to.
Oh,
how about this morning? Guy? Or actually, not this morning, but last night on Tucker, they actually came across a Bill Clinton and a phone call with like Tony Blair or somebody, some call from 2000, and where he's like, "Can you do this? Can you help?" I mean, all the same words are there, directing this person to look into something, and it's like, you know, do I really think it's a big deal? Hell no. But I'm showing, or we're talking about it to, you know, we don't want to bring up all these other people's phone calls and then for people to say that it doesn't mean anything. That's normal business as usual. Exactly. And this is the exact same thing that's going on here.
Well, he's doing nothing wrong. You know, Jordan, God, he was getting hammered by this one reporter, and Jordan kept stating over and over and over again what was really happening, not what was said, but what the facts are, you know.
Mm-hmm. What's the meat of the phone call? Like, what's the point of him? Like, we know that the phone call's not bad, like just the phone call itself. So then you look at like what's being said, and everyone's pointing to that Trump strong-armed this guy to look into the Bidens. So why would Trump risk? Why would Trump risk, if you just follow them there for a minute, there is some substance there of he's talking about Biden. He's telling them to look into it. Now, our investigations are already over at this point. And, you know, when Trump made this call, because according to Giuliani, they wrapped up in May. But he was encouraging their country to look into these crimes as well for their own benefit on their own side. Not that it was going to help with us or do anything more, but he was encouraging them to look. So if you look at that, And out of everything that took place in the Ukraine, kind of like the old Glenn Beck timeline that he put up, where you have the very beginning of that back in 2013, 2008, something, whatever. And you have this starting point of corruption or our government really getting in over there. And that's a starting point. Biden, his son, all that. Then you have this very end point, which is the phone call. So out of everything, the only crime is Trump's phone call. Because he was telling him to look into something. Well, what was that conversation about? Well, something to do with Biden. Well, so Trump's wrong and we needed to impeach him over the phone call talking about Biden. Yes. Well, what about the whole substance of that call? Should we look into that? Most people are already saying they've already looked into this. We already heard from the guy that Biden got put in over there. He cleared him. That's how quick they want to, It's like, well, the guy before Biden. No. Obama, Biden, they're saying that guy was bad. Well, a lot of people are saying he wasn't bad and he was actually looking into it. Well, according to Biden, he was bad, so they got rid of him. Now, the guy that Biden put in cleared him. Well, that same guy that Biden put in, whatever, and cleared him and his son, however, is now singing a different tune, by the way. He wouldn't quit looking backwards as well. So there's like this small amount, the new administration over there is bad. The previous one, bad. This one guy, good. Well, what about this guy now that you're claiming good? Well, now he's bad. So, I don't know what they want us to believe as far as like there's one small time, a window when this guy cleared him, and that's when we got to listen. Anything before that, anything after it is bad. There's a lot to believe when you want to listen to their stories about all that. The bottom line is we got the Trump phone call, and we got the very beginning of it with Biden. We need to look at everything in between there. They're actually in court over there in the Ukraine. These people have already been found guilty. That whole anti-corruption person they put in the Ukraine, that Obama and the Bidens put in to form this anti-corruption bureau, that guy has been found to be bad. Yeah. The guy in charge of the anti-corruption has been tried. So it stinks.
Right.
And we're going to get to the bottom of it. That's what this is really all about.
Right.
Well, and now we know it's not just Biden's son. It was Pelosi's son, John Kerry's son, all of the Mitt Romney's son. So they're all been propped up to get thousands of dollars a month out of these energy companies. They have nothing to do with energy. Typically you have to be into commodities, somewhat smart with it, knowing, not just the last name of who you are. So that seems pretty fun.
Launder information and money at the same time. Wow. Yeah, no wonder they're fighting so hard, But what Trump done on a phone call, come on. Okay, listen. He had to have a stenographer there and an interpreter there.
Why is
real
that?
People think about it. Well, because they can't speak to one
It's
another.
It's a foreign language. Not everyone speaks that. I want the raw phone call release. Well, you wouldn't understand the raw phone call. And we all know that some of these, these foreign countries, even Mexico, all right, the language, it doesn't translate 100%. That's why, Spanish, for example, you can say something in English like, get me that water, or that fence is right there. And they end up saying, it sounds like 15 sentences to say that same thing. And you're like, well, they talk so long, a couple of words. Yeah. They don't have words for that in their language. They have to explain that process. So their language.
They kind of almost talk backward too. You know what
sometimes, I mean, it just depends if you know the language, but sometimes they have to explain things in their language. So that's why, you'll hear the interpreter turn to that person, like, tell him he needs to talk now. And then they'll turn, and they'll go on and on and on and on. You're like, did they get it out? And they were explaining the process of talking. I mean, so that's what this is all about. If there was anything substantial in that talk, like,
it's all recorded.
Where's the body? That would get put in there. And however, the stenographers would get that. They're not there to hide things. They're there to, and that's why there's several of them, because they interpret differently. Exactly. They will interpret a little differently. So, but not like that. Like where 3 of the guys got the actual murder plot down that was talked about, but the 4th guy just kind of missed it. No, it's not that. It's just an interpretation of what's being said to the best of their abilities with knowing the English language and the language that's being decoded or, put down on paper.
Yeah.
So, folks, you got to understand those little facts.
Well, that's the fact that the Dems aren't even. They don't want that brought out. You know what I'm saying? And they need their ammunition, and they don't want that out there so everybody could figure out for themselves. Oh, come on, give me a break. It was a phone call. It's all recorded. I mean, come on. It's just another tactical thing. Delay. Anything to rub Trump in the dirt, man. And the sad thing is, even some of the Democrats now are agreeing that they're putting a big black eye on the Democrats, a big one, and the deep state is really, really, really behind all that stuff too. So now it's going to be the crunching point. The Democrats are they're gonna divide, especially when 2020. They're gonna divide. They're gonna lose all their power because the Republicans will take over, but they're gonna change over because they will no longer be part of the deep state. I'll put it that way. So all their little goody things or whatever is going to be erased, even if they had a chance for goody stuff or whatever.
I don't know how much of their party's going to survive all this woodman at all. I don't think it's just a matter of like turning away from the deep state. Their core values, and this doesn't just go for Democrats or some Republicans as well. This crosses the lines, but this socialism stuff, it just has no place here. As much as they promote or try to pitch it, this is the undoing. This is a hypocrisy at its finest, folks. Everything they're screaming at this point. They know, like, if you're listening to Giuliani, these investigations are done. There's been 4 or 5 into these people for the last 2 years. 4 or 5 different little investigations going on at the Clinton Foundation, the uranium one. All of that is getting ready to be brought out into the real world now, and I think they all got a little taste of that. Something is coming. So again, this is their only chance. This whole time has been to scream. We're now finding out Ukraine was the setup base for the DNC, the CrowdStrike server. This is where they did everything they were doing out of the U.S. Outside of the U.S., of course, they had the shop set up over in the Ukraine. They started propagating their, digging into Trump.
Yep.
This is their headquarters of dirt, folks. So this is probably why Trump brought this up. I'm at this point, I don't know. I did a video yesterday, and it's like I even think some of these whistleblowers could be orchestrated from the Trump team to help walk the Democrats into this little gameplay here. How do we legally inject all this information? Well, if it was a fair actual impeachment, Trump would be given due rights. You're allowed to cross it. You're allowed to actually call up your own witnesses. The way they're doing it without getting that vote, without doing it properly, is it's a one-sided Democratic witch hunt. They want to just set up shop with investigations and make noise, but only one-sided noise. They want to act like they're doing something huge, and it sounds really, makes everyone wonder when they could just do it the right way. But then that would go on the books. Names would be put down in the history books. And they don't really want to go to impeachment because they know they don't really have anything. But when all this comes out, Trump did this, or the Democrats, or these people, Obama, Hillary, they did this. They want to have enough of it marred up that Trump's name's go. Oh, wait a minute, dang it! For 3 years, I've heard Trump in Russia. You mean it was Trump, Russia, and these people, and the Ukraine? Yeah, supposedly. They just want to have it enough dirt out there that it creates a shadow of a doubt in people's minds that Trump did something too, because that's the best defense you got, I guess, is not only did we do stuff, he did it too. And that's about the best.
Well,
they can get.
Trump's a bully, and you know that. That's what they call him, bully. They're trying to make it look like that he's, you know, ranting and raving, going on a rampage. You know what I mean? That's what they're trying to portray.
He won't
really
quit defending himself. You know, that's what you know. That is funny. What about this Biden when he was on stage? He's like, Trump is not going to ruin my family, and you know, like like that's what you guys are doing to him. Like, you know, it's one thing that we're all ruining him and his family, but Bobby damned if he ruins mine. You know, it's like,
yeah, right,
okay,
yeah.
You know, you're so special, Biden, that you don't deserve to be harassed. You know. How dare anyone harass you and your precious family? You know.
Yeah.
So I did go over this manpower guidance for activation. Again, lots of comments. There's been, I get it, folks. This actually came out on the 3rd. It wasn't like it was breaking. And people would put that, where you been? This is old news. It's not that old news. Where have I been? Yeah, kind of looking around. You know, I'm kind of sick for a few days, folks, so I've looked into a lot of stuff. Of course, I didn't get a lot of videos out, but there is a fact here that this is actually 100% real. Now, as far as I'd say 2 parts of this, or one part of it's real, that the actual authority, we're on the marine.mil site. All right, so this came out on the 3rd. It was signed on the 3rd, and it's a manpower guidance for activation and deactivation of reserve components. Okay, the RC reserve components of the Marines ordered to active duty ISO defense support of civil authorities. So if you get into this here, it's now you got a date here of October 19. And then you got the MAR, which is Marine, and then admin. All right, 50/50 or 550/19. Yep, that's their actual. Now, somebody talked about this replaced, or there's a new one that replaced that. And actually, if you go down to the bottom here, I was on something that talked about the original one here, and I'll find it in a minute. But it basically goes over everything within there, all right, their payments. Now, this is to support in-country disaster or emergency. So, in-country emergencies, crises, all right, crises.
Domestic. Under the president's order.
So in response to a major disaster or an emergency assistance within the United States to help support civil authorities. What does that would mean? Civil, like police, you know, your local police, state police, fire departments, stuff like that.
Martial law. Yeah, man, you know, our forefathers, they weren't stupid, you know. They put all this stuff together for a long time ahead, planning ahead, so we wouldn't have this problem that they're trying to put on us. You know, it's not, we still have the Constitution. I'm telling you right now, we have it, you know. And I'm telling you, everybody, Trump is not bending away from it. He truly believes this is our country. This is our country. And the Constitution was written for a reason, everybody, and he's not taking nothing away from it. I kind of like the way he suckered the Democrats into this weapons stuff.
Yeah. No, and like you said, everyone acts like, you know, if certain things would to come in or an order like this over, you know, I don't agree with it. Well, our Constitution is already being kind of trampled upon. If you're so like ourselves, you know, you want this to be followed, our Constitution, then you should already be going ape shit right now. With all the subversions, the 1871 Organic Act of DC that kind of usurped our own Constitution anyway, the way that these people are on TV making up lies, sedition, that's treason. People that go into board meetings that are on, intelligence committees and then come right out and still lie to the American people, and they just got a bunch of fact over here of the matter, but then they kind of play the fact like, well, nobody knows that. I know that now, but nobody else knows that, so I'm going to keep on lying over here until that little bit of information actually comes out into the public sector. I will act like I don't know about it either. And that's how they go on, and that's like Adam Schiff.
Oh boy.
If we're going to sit here and act like somebody can't use something to possibly fix things, well, then what the hell are you doing with the problems that are already going on in this country and these people and the subversion? Where are you on that? So don't talk to us about what's right, what's wrong, what he should be doing and shouldn't be doing, because I can point out everything right now that's already wrong and what shouldn't be happening and what shouldn't be going on, and you've done nothing. You've left us out in the wind to battle with these evil tyrants. So do what you got to do to clean house. Just like this whole process of, they're talking about Trump putting these phone calls onto a secret server outside of the network. Why are they so concerned about that? Because they wanted to be able to tap into these systems and get these calls to leak them. They couldn't find them. So that's why it's being brought up. They're like, oh, he's not putting the stuff on the places that we can get it to leak it. The leakers are starting to get mad that they can't find this stuff because but he was advised, like Trump, you've had a leak every day the first year in office. We advise you start putting this stuff over here until we can figure out this leaking issue. And then those people get mad and file paperwork that they can't leak stuff because it's not there. Think about that. I mean, it's like, they forced this man, and everything. It's not just Trump, coming up like, we got somewhere else I can put this stuff. Oh yeah, we'll create a new thing for you. No, this was already there. This was already recommended. Everything he's doing is recommended. Like, well, since you can't trust and we don't know who, let's start putting it over here. And this is no different than anyone else would operate if you have a bunch of leakers and whatnot going on. I mean, again, by the way, that's all actual laws being broken. And, nobody's stopping long enough in any of this for 3 years, a media or nothing, to be like, we got a leaking problem. There's been a leak every day for Trump in office. We got to get to the bottom of this. That's undermining. Nobody was doing all this to the other presidents, leaking every time they turned around so they couldn't operate, and forcing them to go to other means and then attacking them on their other means when they try to defend the country by not letting everything get leaked. It's crazy.
Trump loves the battle. I'm telling you, he really truly does. He loves that battle. I think he gets up in the morning like, he must be doing, gosh, what was that one cartoon eons ago, or Underdog, where he had that pill in his ring, Yeah. I guess what he does. He does something like that in the morning. No kidding. He really, he enjoys it. Look, he's doing everything positive right in front of their face, even though they've tried every way, shape, or form to stop him. And he's doing it right there. And I know he brags a lot. I do know that. I know that. But wouldn't you, after you've been fighting up an uphill battle constantly and still winning, wouldn't you be proud of yourself? I mean, come on, people. This is so because he's president, he can't have pride? Give me a break. Look at the rest of the presidents we've had, Look what they've done.
So the best-selling QAnon book publisher dies from being poisoned.
Wow.
That's in some news here as well. The publisher of the best-selling QAnon, An Invitation to the Great Awakening, dies after suspiciously being poisoned. Felipe and Monica Ricks Paxson, owners of the Relentless Creative Books, were poisoned in Mexico earlier this summer. Doctors are not able to determine the toxin type or how they were poisoned. While Monica Paxson recovered slowly from the poison, but her husband, Ryan Phillippe, was not as fortunate and died in October. He just died October 3rd after being poisoned in the summer, folks. So, Conspiracy, no more on that.
Fact, fact, fact. Fact, fact, fact.
Yes.
Yeah, Randy Webb says something about underdog's ring. Love it. Love it. Underdog. Yeah, man. He sure is fighting an uphill battle against all them twerps you just had up there. That's crazy, man. Totally crazy. Now, I do hope, we got some things coming out here, and well, it'll be just shy of 2 weeks. But we probably 10 or 11 more days, we're going to have some stuff really start crunching out.
There's speculation that the second whistleblower is John Bolton.
Yeah.
That's
crazy, man. Orchestrated, that's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Orchestrated.
Yeah. Well, under the Obama administration, they prosecuted 8 whistleblowers. Like, I think one of them ended up agreeing that he was treasonous. Like, he signed his own paperwork at the end of it, like, in court, ended up, yeah, fine, because I leaked classified information. So he ended up, going down as that. And we know that Edward Snowden, all these people that had came out and that they were attacked by the Obama administration and prosecuted. Chelsea Manning spent all that time in prison. So there you go. And then for us, when these things come out and this is a process, we got to protect them. I mean, they're the Democrats are, making them beds and dinner and stuff. And it's a different story. John Brennan, by the way, this mouthpiece, he is scared. He is shaking in his boots, folks, with the fact that he's got to go testify. John Brennan frightened to death over Barr Horowitz inquiry into the Russian probe routes. This guy has went around for 2 years, 3 years on all them shows, Woodman, CNN, Anderson Cooper, Jake Trapper, whatever, and just, oh no, and he talks as fact. He talks as this is that. I mean, it was him, Comey, Clapper. They all went around for 3 years telling us this narrative that didn't end up being true whatsoever. And then now you go through like this Brennan or Clapper, they're out there blaming Obama. Well, Obama was the one that put us up to it. That's to start this whole spy thing. They're literally pointing back to Obama. They are like falling apart mentally. They don't.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
Falling apart mentally.
Yeah, pretty soon I'll be doing medication. I don't know what they give.
Well,
psychos like that.
He's saying that he just doesn't understand. He doesn't understand why they want to go look at the origins of the whole, why it all started. That's what he was saying. He's like, for the life of me, I can't understand why they want to know why this was started. Well, because,
everything stems from that. Yeah. He's looking real idiot. He's, they all are, man. And they're trying to change rules now in the House when they're having these sessions. Come on, give me a break, man.
What, they're on the fly trying to say, like, we don't like the way that this has gone down in the past, so we want to change this rule so they can't do that. What are they trying to change some rules?
Yeah, Jordan, he calls them out on it. I mean, Jordan and Collins was sitting right beside Nader that one day, and he's going like, you can't just keep changing the rules to fit your agenda. You just can't do that. I mean, they're trying everything, Michael, and you know that, man. It's just that they're getting caught in some of it openly in public. That's what's really going to divide them up.
Well, and they don't, like I said, stuff. I don't think they really, I think they know to Because if you look at Pelosi in that timeline, Mueller, he left the obstruction thing open. Like as he closed out his little report earlier this spring, late spring, early summer, and then he left that obstruction thing there. And they had that. And then they were hitting the Democrats. So are you going to go get him for obstruction? Well, I don't think it's a time. And they didn't do the impeachment thing over that, which is probably even more plausible than what they got going on now. If they wanted to try something, would have been the obstruction of justice at the end of that 3-year nothing burger. No, wasn't good enough. And then you got this. It's almost like they got wind, something's done, something's getting ready to come out. Like the word is they just got done with the whole Ukraine thing. It shows this whole DNC collusion with the Ukraine government and you guys trying to overthrow an election. Impeachment. And because they think under impeachment, he's and it's just like, all of these people running, the 25 Democrats get into the race because therefore when it comes out that they've been doing bad things, they can scream that I'm a political opponent. How dare you look into me? It seems to be the case here that, because they're saying Trump was done. Biden I like to tell people like, oh no, Trump's just looking into him because he can't beat Biden. That's their thing. I'm like, well, it looks like the Biden thing was done back in May. And people are like, nope. Trump was on that phone call in July. See, they get it all mixed up. I was like, well, Trump could have been on that. Yeah, he was on that phone call in July, but he was telling them to look into it, not help us and give us some more info. Like ours is done. You guys should be looking into it. You're going to be amazed what we found. You should look into it too. Who knows how that goes? Trump
didn't mention anything about Biden. It was mentioned in the phone conversation by the other guy, from Ukraine. People, they get it all confused. That's for sure. Now listen, Trump didn't bring that up. You have to understand that phrase right there. He did not bring it up. The Ukrainian president did. He's the one that brought it up, not Trump. So the Democrats right there, they're on a sour pickle right there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People have to watch. Don't just listen to a Democrat. Physically sit there and watch, and you can see, all the lies. I can't believe it. They should have probably 200 subpoenas now for people going to court over lying, being punished for that. That's all they're doing is lying, fabricating, lying, fabricating.
Well, and that's why they act like they need to. That's what people said, that they, they're so hell-bent on getting Trump that they start breaking the rules that they have to get him breaking the rules. And they don't understand how much that undermines the process. If, we're going to go get him. Well, you can't do it that way. That's breaking the rules. I don't care. And it's like, well, if you break the rules big enough, sometimes yours will outshadow the actual crime that you're accusing somebody of, depending on what the crime is. But still, like on all these years, we've had this process for the Congress to take it to the vote. When a whistleblower comes forward, you're supposed to share that with the other side as well. You're not just a one-sided deal.
Right.
The same thing that Adam Schiff accused Nunes of doing back in May of 2017 when he found some information out and he ran straight to the White House with it. They were screaming, why would he do that? He's supposed to bring it to us on the other side of Congress so they could all come to an agreement, and then the committee will decide what to go do next together, made up of Republicans and Democrats. You don't want a one-sided witch hunt. Well, that's exactly what they just did here. The whole thing that they screamed so loud that Nunes recused himself from the chair at the time because of him doing something outside of the norm. He said, well, this shocked me so bad I didn't want to do the proper procedure. Fine. Now you got to deal with the consequences, which was they kind of removed him from that position for the time being. Well, at the time, the Democrats screamed that so loud. Now here you go. Fast forward 2 years later, they did the same thing roughly with a whistleblower complaint. Knew all about it. They didn't want to share that with the other side of the committee. Why? So they can get a big jump, a big game plan going. It's just like in court. You ever seen the movie My Cousin Vinny? Well, he goes and hunts with that opposite lawyer, the guy. You want to go hunt with me up at my cabin? And they go up there and hunt, and he goes, man, I'd like to look at all your files. And they're driving. He goes, really? And he calls us, hey, get me a copy of all the case files. Get them over to his office. He wants to. All right, bye. And he thinks he just talked him into it. And when he comes home, he's all whistling in front of his wife, like, I just got all the files. I schmoozed them. And she was like, schmoozed them? It's called disclosure, you dickhead. You have to. He has to give you everything. Otherwise, it could be a mistrial. There's no secrets in court, So, basically, that's the whole thing, folks. There is no secrets. You need to, and that's basically, instead of sharing this information and being the correct way, they hid it. They geared up on it for three weeks. And you can see that process unfold with the whole ramp up of impeachment talk by Pelosi, by Schiff. All these people, they had information about this whistleblower, and they're just waiting, and that's why Pelosi comes out the night before talking about impeachment. We must impeach. And then Trump blows the whole bottom out of it by declassifying, which they didn't think it was going to happen that quick or the very next morning. And before they can even get going on it, it was already blown out. And then they still proceeded to operate like it didn't get, because they were dumbfounded. Like, we're not going to look at it. Pelosi, did you look at it? No, I didn't look at it yet, and I don't need to. We need to impeach. It was like
yeah.
Scrambling to go forward with a mission that was already like basically underwater from the get-go. So that's why things aren't making sense, folks. We gotta dig into some of this stuff here. I don't know. Let me see. I'm just going to look at a few headlines as well while we're still.
Well, hello, Raggedy Man, Ice Princess, Frank Bolin, Thumper Rose, Grillin. Hey, how you doing, Grillin? Great to see you, brother. Same to you, EO Dave. Good to see you, buddy.
Here, I pulled some up on the screen. Let me see. Grillin, please keep chat clean and respectful. Yes, please. Just be respectful. Great show, Mike. Simplified. Donald Holland. Heather Johnson. Does Pelosi think she can slide right into the presidency by impeachment? She is loony as a bag of tunes. I agree. Yeah, she's a third in line. I mean, folks, we're 13 months out from an election. 13 months or so, maybe 14, something like that. Let the people pick. Yep. We're that close to a whole new election, and they want to go to the impeachment route. And they have no intention of impeachment. This is just they want an investigation into impeachment from now till election time. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
They wanted him to be under investigation for the whole 4 years. That would have been their dream.
Well, they thought they were going to find something also, They really did. They really did. That's why they had to fabricate things.
Punishing all Trump voters. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Hello, Woodman, Raggedy Man.
Hello.
Kelly Dunn.
Yeah. I haven't seen AOC for a while.
What did I just see there? Yeah, Clapper slipped up and said BO made them do it all. Now I got video I've done on that. Spy in the Sky. Since last summer, Clapper has gone on to these shows, and when questioned, he's like, well, it was Obama that, tasked us to, start up this whole, spying apparatus. And now he doesn't use the word spy. He uses conduct our intelligence gathering. They use all these words that basically mean spy, but it sounds a lot better. Just like they had an issue when Barr was using the word spy or Trump was using the word spy. They're like, we don't spy. We conduct counterintelligence eavesdropping protocol. I mean, whatever you want to call it.
They tried. They tried so hard. But yeah, there we go, man.
Bottom line, you know, like if somebody was tapping into your phone call, you know what I'm saying, and you use that word like they were spying on me, Mike. They were listening to my phone call, and you're like, they weren't spying, Woodman. They weren't listening. They were technically eavesdropping in to gain data access to the over-under all of, they'll use all these technical words, and then, bottom line is they have a transcript of your phone call, and yes, they know everything you're saying. That's what you're trying to make the point of. How they do that, the technical lingo on it, we don't know. We do, but, and you hear them use it. So they were arguing the fact that, spy versus intelligence gathering, it's all the same thing. Sanctioned, not sanctioned, there is a difference. We know that these people were doing it unsanctioned at first. Once Trump won, they moved into the realm of making it look sanctioned. They started, the legal process of the FISA, getting the surveillance to do so. That was almost a legit way. This is like we talk about a fake ID back in the day, Woodman. What would you take to be a fake ID? That's where, we knew the buddies that would maybe manipulate an ID, take a fake picture of you or a picture of you and putting on to some other ID. When you think of like a fake passport or a fake government ID, but then, back in the day in high school, we knew kids that would get their brothers. Like I had a buddy of mine that had a brother 2 years older, and he took all his information down to the DMV back then. I just took my brother's birth certificate and this and that, and he got an ID that they took with his own face, just with his brother's information behind it, because he was able to trick them. Right. Now that I never considered that a fake ID. It was fake to the fact that it wasn't belonging to my buddy, but it was an actual real ID with everything sanctioned by them. I mean, you're less likely to get caught with something like that because it was 100% made by them, 100% legit. You just gave them false information. Right. I don't condone that. This is just a point. Plus, they're kids back then, but to get a fake ID, to be able to buy the alcohol that he wants, whatever, right? Cigarettes. But there you go. So there's sanctioned spying, unsanctioned spying, intelligence matters, whatever. It's all the same thing. Don't let the noise distract you from the facts of the matter, folks.
Well, they don't like that word.
No,
spying.
No, they don't.
No, they don't like
their
that.
Feelings.
Yeah,
it hurts
talking
feelings.
Talking about hurting my word, man. My brain was melting and my eyeballs are being burnt out. Watching all these idiots over the last couple of days, I have to sometimes break away and come back and finish it, because it's either that or it's total comedian bullshit. Well, come on, it's all theatrics. Through and through, it's theatrics. That's all it is, Who's writing the script? Nuts, man. Cool thing is, though, we're having a lot more patriots coming on board and understanding what's going on. That's very helpful, because they've got the idea that the news they watch is fake. It's orchestrated. It's it fits their narrative. It's nothing to do with reality. It's what they want to give you, what they want you to say, think, how they want you to act. Patriots are starting to catch on already, so we're not falling for that anymore.
Well, they've been wrong.
Even Fox News is going nuts. So
Yeah, well, they're owned.
But
They're not an exception to the rule. That's why you can never get comfortable with them, Woodman. I mean, there's only five corporations that own all of the channels. You know, you can be like, I got this kind of cable and I got 400 channels. Okay, well, those 400 channels are still only owned by 5 groups, basically.
Quite correct.
And you can have somebody else who's like, well, I got 700 channels. Is there like maybe 6 or 7 owners? Nope, it's still only the same 5. Now, when we talk about different news channels, Fox is just as bad as the rest of them at this point, other than there's a few people, for some reason or another, and I don't know how much longer they got, that actually do have a platform. So you talk about like Sean Hannity. For some reason, he's allowed to just do this opposite narrative. They think it's so little compared to the overall scheme of things. I don't know how much longer he's got. You got Tucker, a little bit of Tucker. He does good stuff. He doesn't really ever, you know, he goes over some stuff. Some of it's just trivial. But
breadcrumbs really about all
Tucker's
it is, really.
more in tune. You know, he's got Solomon on and Sarah Carter, and then they'll go over all this stuff to the meat of it. That's about it. You know, you go backwards to the more prime. You know, that's 9 o'clock. By the way, you go back to like 5 o'clock on Fox, or 4 o'clock. Shep Smith guy hates Trump. He's 100% against him. The 5 is okay, but as you creep on there's certain shows, and you know, you can get some good information out of it, but it's again, like they said, there's gatekeepers and stuff on the news. Exactly. So
I like that Gutfield guy, or Gutfeld, whatever his name is,
on the 5. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he reminds me of you, but he's radical and you're peaceful in your endeavors.
He's radical in his endeavor. That's funny.
Well, you guys are really witty, and you know, I think that's pretty cool. He finds a way to attack people. You know, it's really neat. Makes a joke out of it. Of course, you got that Dem on board for the 5. That's kind of like makes things interesting. You know,
no shepherds. That's right. Disney owns most. No, it's Yep, no, there's some good ones out there for sure.
Not very many anymore. You have to dig anymore to get any info. You really have to, and even at that, you really have to watch, go over it before you think it's real. You know, it's amazing how they can throw out lies and fabricate things. So you have to, in your mind, figure out what's right or wrong. You know, because you sure can't get it on the average media, that is for sure. But then again, too, when you dig in like what we're doing all the time, even some of that is, they try to misguide you. So you have to you got to stay alert, you know. It's like it says in the Bible, you know, be open-minded, open eyes to see what's really going on around you, you know. Don't be blinded. Don't be blinded. But they just want, you know how it is.
Yeah.
We're doing pretty good. I think we're doing pretty good for what we bring out. You know, you and Ben deliver big punches a lot, you know. That's fantastic. How's he doing, by the way?
Good.
Doing good?
Yes, I think he had some, you know, things going on this morning. I had told him we were looking to do a show. We were trying to do one earlier, but I was just up late again last night. Couldn't sleep real well. Was up a little too late, so slept in. But here we are. So we have no
Airborne.
No worries or no issues on our time. We can go whenever. We're not locked in.
And we do try to give out the correct info, by the way, everybody. We investigate. We don't just hear something and then all of a sudden, bam, you need to hear this, you know. We might show you something that and say,
Well,
we have
and
to look at this.
the bigger picture here with the whole Ukraine is the amount of money that went missing in there from U.S. tax dollars. If that doesn't get, because the amount of money there was like literally one of the, I mean, I think in total it was the amount like Trump was asking for the wall, and everyone here had an issue with our own front door. No, I'm not going to give 1.2 billion, which turns out to be $17 per taxed citizen. It's like $17 for a lock for our front door for the country. No. And it's like, well, what about the 8 billion that went over missing in the Ukraine? I don't know nothing about that, so therefore it doesn't bother me. If Obama and them lost 8 billion, I'm sure they had a good reason to. I mean, that's they'll like, whoa. So that alone warrants looking into the money, the tax dollars money that came up missing over there. Very suspicious, by the way.
Pending investigation. They use that a lot too.
Yeah.
We can't discuss that right now. Pending investigation.
Did you get a chance? Did you watch that whole Glenn Beck thing, the 2 hours long? Did you get a chance to see that?
No, I do like his chalkboard. I do like. God, he's windy. He does have a nice chalkboard. I will say that.
Well, it gives you all the facts. I mean, do you know everything going on there now, or no? You're just putting it together in other ways?
Open my eyes a bit more, but I'm such an idiot. I'm such an idiot. I have to go over it multiple times for it to sink in. I have a thick skull. I don't know.
Well, I would say
sawdust.
Yeah, no. And I encourage folks, to, again, like I said, I've never been a huge Glenn Beck fan. He was totally against Trump in the beginning, not that, but now he's come, everyone's like, because he wants to sell some stuff, he's back. I don't know, maybe he had an epiphany, because it seems like, you don't just jump back over to something and then do great work as far as explaining the whole Ukraine thing. He took all the information that's out there from John Solomon, everything we've all been doing, all of us, everything that's out there, and just put it into a nice timeline and explains the hell out of it. And there is no denying what was going on over there. All right. I mean, this is possibly the like we said, the other than doing it in China and God knows where else, the one set up in the Ukraine could have been the brains behind the operation of their the DNC's collusion with foreign governments to overthrow Trump. So we know that to be kind of true. All right, let me see here.
Yeah, taking all the crumbs and putting them in a pile and looking at it, what you're doing. That's all we can do.
Whoops. Put Woodman on in here.
Uh-oh.
All right, so let me look at a few more things here. We're hitting the hour mark. So Adam Schiff, U.S. House Intelligence Panel Chairman, says State Department withholding messages. Let me see what this article gets into. So the U.S. State Department is withholding messages from the ambassador to the European Union that they are relevant to the impeachment inquiry, the chairman of the U.S. House Intelligence Committee said on Tuesday. Not only is Congress being deprived of his testimony, but we are also aware that the ambassador has text messages or emails on a personal device which had been provided to the State Department. Although we have requested those from the ambassador, and the State Department is withholding those messages, Adam Schiff told reporters. And we don't really like to listen to anything Schiff says as fact, because he just hasn't earned that right, to be honest with people.
I see a bunch of doo-doo coming out of his lip. That's all I see.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh,
Facebook fact checks entirely based on politics, not truth. Facebook fact checks entirely based on politics, not truth.
Yep.
So here we go. James Clapper talks Russiagate on CNN. Obama made us do it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Point the finger, point the finger. I was ordered to.
They made me.
Yeah. I had no choice. It came with a raise.
It came
got a
with a raise.
I
They
got
gave
a
me an
bonus for it.
Obama phone when I did it.
Yeah. Oh Lord. They're trying to bury the thing with old Clinton's
Are you
emails
concerned
too.
that Barr's or Durham's investigation will find wrongdoing and seek to punish former intelligence officials?
Well, I don't know. I don't think there was any wrongdoing. I think at the time all of us were trying to navigate a very, very difficult, politically fraught, highly charged situation. I know for my part, my main concern was the Russians and the threat posed by the Russians to our very political fabric. And the message I'm getting from all this is apparently what we were supposed to have done was to ignore the Russian interference, ignore the Russian meddling and the threat that it poses to us. And oh, by the way, blown off what the then Commander-in-Chief, the President Obama, told us to do, which was to assemble all the reporting that we could, that we had available to us, and put it in one report that the President could pass on to the Congress and to the next administration. And while we're at it, declassify as much as we possibly could to make it public, and that's what we did. It's kind of disconcerting now to be investigated for having done our duty and done what we were told to do by the president.
I find it kind of appalling that I'm getting looked at here. He made me. Well, there, buddy, when you kind of subvert the Constitution and go to the Five Eye, and you guys sat there and talked all these other countries in, all these other countries didn't want to do what the hell they were asked to do, but Obama was in power at the time. A lot of them felt like they owed Obama favors because of the leniency on monies and aid that was coming. Same kind of leverage. If you don't help us, then you will get nothing, And okay,
Right.
where do we sign off here? We'll open up our intelligence gathering to you guys. Go ahead and listen to whatever you need.
Yeah.
So we'll get to the bottom of that. What a great show. Hope you'll join me again this week on another, maybe tomorrow or whatnot. We'll try to get back at it here, folks. Again, I apologize last week, a few days down. You guys are fine on your own. You know how to do the research. Plus, there's plenty of other channels I'm sure you get with. But again, don't always be so quick to believe every channel or everything you watch, especially the mainstream. Listen to it, take it in, but then do a little bit of fact back check on it. All right. I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard.
You have to.
You have to in this game. You can't, auto truth being spoon fed is over. We cannot rely on that anymore. So, all right. Well, we're kind of waiting on some big stuff here, possibly this week. I think something's coming as far as some paperwork. We know that Durham was the last guy that they brought in, folks. When we started hearing about Durham and him getting brought in, this is the guy to kind of key and put together all this information, basically, to get the charges with lines from, this crime to this person. And we're hoping, I mean, this is what we're down to. The charges coming out, people getting in trouble. We can't just see this kicked under the rug or buried any longer. It looks like Trump is on offense now, by the way, too. Don't you see some offense being played?
Oh yeah.
Instead of just this, getting pushed around. It's like, say this, do that. It seems like there's actually some offensive coming out, even out of Republicans on TV, Congress, whatever, right? It just seems like there's a little bit of a pushback that we haven't seen up until these last few days. So we're going to keep following along with that. Got plenty of things to dig into, other videos I want to get into today. So follow us along. Make sure you're subscribed. Woodman, anything to put out to all the Patriots? Any words of advice for them?
Just really no kidding. Dig. It's out there. The information is out there. You have to dig. But like Mike and I and Ben and Scott always tell you, investigate what you've discovered, because there are people out there that want to direct you in the wrong direction for sure. We have to stay on track. Like our president says, this is our country. He's taking it back for us. This is our country. Our country. Look at your neighbor and be proud about having a neighbor. Go talk to him. This is our country. Have dinner with your family. They don't do that anymore. Be connected to each other. We are Americans. Honestly, we're fighting a battle that is not physical. This is a spiritual battle. I'm telling you, it's carried out by people, of course, but this is a highly spiritual battle, everybody. We need to get our country back and kind of shove Satan aside. Let him go play with them other people. We don't need that here. We have God on our side. We don't, we're Americans. We were founded on, this is our God-given right. Don't ever forget that phrase, everybody. It's our God-given right. We have rights, people. We have a constitution, and now we have a president. Sure, he doesn't do everything 100% correct. No, nobody does. But support the guy. He tells you what he's trying to accomplish. And the neat thing is, he's still uphill battle, and he don't care. He likes it. He likes the challenge, people. He likes the challenge. Let's help him out on his endeavor. Let's make it a great country again, like it used to be, back in the day when, Dad came home and kissed Mom, and, then you guys had a sit-down meal with everybody, discuss what happened during the day and stuff, and love each other. That's the way to live, not socialism. I don't want nobody telling me what I can do, what I can't do, and what kind of crops I can grow, and who I can talk to, and where I can live, and where I can travel to. I don't want that. Trump doesn't want that either. We all want to live in a blissful setting, which is what Trump is trying to organize. It will never be perfect, not at all, but it will be better than what it is right now, and we can stabilize it that way. We can, and with help from him, and this thing about 550/19, it's no joke, people. We need to find a way to talk to these deep state thinking type people, teach them how to pull their head out of their ass, because we don't need any part of that. We don't need that. We need our country back. We need to smile again. We need to be trustworthy again. We need to be able to leave our back door unlocked and not have to worry about somebody coming in and robbing us and stuff. We still have, if we have our constitutional rights, everybody will have a gun. Who's going to want to break into that? Nobody. I don't want to break into somebody's house that I know for a fact he's got a gun in there. That's a little asinine. Yeah, pray, people. Pray. Never lose sight of God or Jesus Christ or the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit's here to help us. People like Mike and Ben and Scott, we try real hard. American Joe, he does Sunday shows. Let's get involved, everybody. Let's just not watch. Let's not just sit back and watch everybody do it. Do like we are. Dig. Find out. This is our lives. It's not a show. This is our lives. Get your popcorn ready, everybody. That's what Colin said. I got my popcorn ready. You know. You did. He did.
Yeah. Well, right on, brother. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Please join us, and we'll do this again. Woodman, brother.
Airborne, everybody. Don't
God
lose
bless.
sight of life. God
That's
bless
right.
you for sure.
God bless each and every one of you. We will see you back. That was Woodman. We love it. Again, we got some real estate back here. If you guys got any stickers, you can see we got the 45 to the second power. We got Q. We got some flags. We got Op 1 Vets. I think I got that sticker from Woodman there. Dead center. He came across that from the Op 1 Vet. Again, keep digging, folks. Get to the truth. Never let them steer you wrong. Come to your own conclusions. Do your own fact checking. Listen to everybody you want. Watch everything you can. Believe not a lick of it until you can verify it. And how does that work? Well, you're going to look at a lot of things, and you're going to come to this logical hunch that just sits with you. You're like, that don't seem right. This doesn't. Well, you can only go if you look at enough things. You're going to come to this logical conclusion based off all the information that you kind of took in. All right, you're going to chew the meat, spit out the bone, and we're just happy that you have concern and that you're here as well. You have a inkling to get to the truth for fellow mankind all around. So, all right, again, I'm Michael. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless each and every one of you, and we'll see you back here on the next Patriot Hour update coming real soon. Make sure you're subscribed. Take a look down below, and all the links are in the description box as well. And we appreciate it. Give us an email. Drop us a line if you need to get in touch. All right, we'll see you back here on the next Patriot Hour. God bless.
And so it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed.